continues to phantom ways to contain COVID-19. The first line of defense, experts say, is choosing a healthy lifestyle. Nutrition is key in achieving a functional body system. With increasing reports of Nigeria topping the list on the West African sub-region, experts are, however, advocating the vigorous pursuit of food nutrition for immunity boost to prevent the disease. That's the outlook on Panorama from Port Harcourt. I am Jenny Bassi. Thanks for joining us. You're welcome. On the 19th of May 2020, 226 new confirmed cases of COVID-19 and one death was recorded in Nigeria. No new state has reported a case in the last 24 hours. Till date, 6,404 and one case have been confirmed. 1,734 cases have been discharged and 192 deaths have been recorded in 34 states and the Federal Capital Territory. The 226 new cases are reported from 16 states: Lagos 131, Ogun 25, Plateau 15, Edo 11, Kaduna 7, Oyo 6, FCT 5, Adamawa 5, Jigawa, Ebonyi, and Borno 4 cases each, Nasarawa 3, Bauchi and Gombe 2 cases each, Enugu and Bayelsa 1 case each. The Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 says the present approach on ease of lockdown will give room for a balance between safety and economic consideration before a full reopening of the economy. Chairman of the task force, Boss Mustafa, announced this at Tuesday's briefing on coronavirus pandemic. Kenneth Nane reports.
The Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 is urging institutions and citizens to use the additional 2 weeks of ease of lockdown to adapt new strategies on how best to cope with the coronavirus pandemic in line with the prescribed guidelines.
Behavioral change is a must for every citizen because COVID-19 has changed the world completely. Our future remains in our hands, and compliance is one of the keys to opening that future.
On diagnostic facilities, the health minister says adequate collaboration with state governments are at an advanced stage to strengthen response on COVID-19 in states. While the nation continues to share experience with international organizations, the health minister emphasized that cooperation amongst citizens remained the ultimate means of containing the virus.
The Federal Ministry of Health places special priority on the maintenance and continuation of essential services in health in both private and public hospitals throughout the country.
The speed at which we implement the safety advisories we have provided will also determine how fast we can come out of this pandemic. In terms of the guidelines on the lockdown, the existing easing of the lockdown remains largely the same.
The rational use of PPEs is really something that needs to become a sustained change in our sector. In most procurement plans of our federal institutions, state institutions, even in private sector hospitals, you would rarely find a procurement of PPEs in any of them.
I have performed the virtual inauguration of the Committee on Post-COVID Initiatives for the Creative Industry. The committee is to assess the expected impact of the pandemic on the industry in general, advise the government on how to mitigate job and revenue losses in the sector,
assuring Nigerians of federal government's commitment to curtailing the spread of coronavirus. The PTF urges Nigerians to continue to observe all precautionary measures put in place to remain safe. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
The National Council on Privatization has today approved a draft legislative instrument to enact the Health Sector Reform Bill and associated legislation for presentation to President Muhammadu Buhari. This is expected to give millions of Nigerians access to quality healthcare services. Speaker House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila, who paid a brief visit to the villa, says the National Assembly has also set up a committee to address post-COVID-19 issues, among which is a healthcare delivery system. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
The second meeting this year by the National Council on Privatization, holding through video conferencing. Critical issues on the nation's economy, such as that of power and health care delivery system, have been deliberated upon. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo is the chairman of the council, and the meeting is being coordinated right here in his office. The coronavirus pandemic is said to have revealed lapses and serious challenges in the healthcare sector. Fortunately for the country, the council, before the advent of the pandemic, has been engaging with stakeholders in the sector towards working out an efficient and effective healthcare services in the country. The council resolved to continue with this engagement.
What we are looking at essentially is a situation where, the citizens of this country do not have to pay to receive quality health care. It's a far-reaching and bold radical reform, and we hope that with the continuing engagements with all the stakeholders, we should be able to deliver this as a legacy reform program of this current administration.
Speaker, House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila, after a brief visit to the Vice President and the new Chief of Staff, says the National Assembly is prepped up towards addressing social and economic issues that will ensure a greater country after COVID-19.
Things are going to change. Things are going to be different. It's like I met with the VP earlier on today, and we both acknowledge the fact, and everybody acknowledges the fact that post-COVID Nigeria is going to be significantly different from pre-COVID Nigeria. And so the National Assembly is all geared up already to make legislation and pass laws and that would align with the situation we have found ourselves.
It is a legacy that the administration wishes to bequeath to the people of the country, a promise of universal coverage of healthcare delivery to the generality of Nigerians. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NT News.
Inspector General of Police Mohammed Adamu has withdrawn an order restricting the movement of essential workers during the curfew. For Public Relations Officer DCP Frank Mba, in a statement, said the IGP gave a directive to all the Assistant Inspectors General of Police, Commissioners of Police and Commands to give effect for these exemptions while enforcing the restriction orders. One of the key factors identified in the containment of the coronavirus pandemic is the need to boost immunity. Boosting immunity, experts say, to a large extent, is dependent on the intake of balanced and healthy meals. Jide Beroya in this report examines the process of actualizing the right nutrition to beat COVID-19.
Food is any substance that is consumed to provide nutritional support for the body. It is also considered as an essential commodity to man. As experts put it, the common denominator that drives most of the nutrition and dietary recommendation to combat viral infections, including COVID-19, lies within the link between diet and immunity. Hence, eating healthy food is being advocated to help fortify the body against diseases.
We are de-emphasizing animal-based foods. We're not saying you shouldn't take them, but take them in moderation, and then emphasize on taking whole foods that are unprocessed. I'm saying that take your beans, Take your green vegetables. We have ugu, we have spinach, we have kale available in Nigeria. Why are we interested in the greens? Because the greens are an excellent source of folate and calcium, which are important aspects that boost immunity.
Nutrition is a very key pillar in lifestyle medicine because we understand that nutrition can either make you or mar you. One of the advices we give is please eat rainbow every day. That means the color of your fruit and vegetable is important. It signifies the phytonutrients that it contains. The aim is to make sure that you improve your well-being.
Is there any evidence on the efficacy of the use of dietary supplements and herbs in the prevention and management of COVID-19?
No cure for COVID-19 presently. So no herbal remedy, no particular diet, no particular food supplement has the cure for COVID-19. But rather, you take an adequate diet to help support your immunity.
The consensus is that nutrition is key to flattening the curve of any pandemic. Experts also advise Nigerians to maximize the huge potential inherent in plant-based foods, such as fruits and vegetables that boost immunity. In Port Harcourt, Chidiebere Onya, NTA News.
Thank you, Chidiebere. And with that report, we have a guest in the studio, and she's none other than a registered dietitian, nutritionist, Department of Dietetics, University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital, dietitian Odazie Ochefu. It's my pleasure to have you on Panorama.
Thank you.
Yes, we just looked at the report. Now, immunity, we all know, is crucial in maintaining our health. So how can an average Nigerian achieve good nutrition to boost immunity in terms of affordability?
Thank you. An average Nigerian can afford good nutrition that will boost immunity in this pandemic period by considering a lot of factors. Of course, we are talking about adequate diet, a combination of different food groups in a diet, and then being well hydrated will help us achieve good nutrition. And then talking about affordability, we'll be looking at the food and the fruits in season. In that way, an average Nigerian can achieve good nutrition in this period of pandemic.
Yeah. Okay, let's look at the mixtures of a number of spices people mix to drink, like the ginger, the garlic, the turmeric. As a dietitian, how effective is these spices?
Okay, there is no doubt that these spices have some health benefits, like the ginger, the garlic, the turmeric, and all the rest of them, But they have antioxidants, that help to fight infection. Some are rich in vitamin C and vitamin A. These also help to fight infection. But it's not like it's the cure-it-all. Mm-hmm. It's not like when we take it that the problem is solved. But they help. So what our advice is that we should use them to cook our food. We should add them all to the diet. And remember, there should be caution in terms of portion control. Because that something have some health benefit does not mean you should go ahead taking it all the time and in excess quantity. So there should also be some restriction so that we'll be able to strike a balance to achieve good health.
Thank you very much. Well, that was dietitian Odazie Ochefu, and she is a registered dietitian, nutritionist, Department of Dietetics, University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital. Panorama continues after the break. Yeah, welcome back. Today is World Bee Day, commemorated globally to draw attention to the role and importance of bees and other pollinations to the ecosystem. Today is dedicated to raising awareness and highlighting the need to conserve bees for sustainable economic development. Bees are known to be pollinators of wildflowers and crops, source of honey, and while popular in the production of candles, polishes, and pharmaceutical products. The 2020 theme for World Bee Day, Save the Bees, draws globally attention to the conservative use of natural resources.
And the ecosystem diversity, you have a food chain. The bee is part and parcel of that food chain. Once the bee is missing in that food chain, something, of course, will go wrong in the whole food chain. We encourage people to embark on bee farming, which, of course, is the mainstay of countries like Israel.
Just coming in says the second virtual meeting of the Federal Executive Council is underway at the Presidential Villa. President Muhammadu Buhari is presiding over the meeting from the Executive Council chambers. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the President was joined by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, his Chief of Staff, and few ministers that scheduled to present memos for consideration. Other council members are participating in the meeting from the comfort of their offices across the nation's capital territory in conformity with the social distancing protocol. The agenda of the meeting is not known as at the time of filing this report. NTA News will, however, keep you posted with the outcome of deliberations when made public. The Federal Executive Council is the highest policy decision-making body of the Nigerian government. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the commencement of Operation Accord, a major military exercise aimed at flushing out bandits from Kaduna, Niger, Katsina, Zamfara, Sokoto, and parts of the states. A statement from the presidency says no other details concerning the mode, scope, timing, and other essentials will be revealed so as not to compromise its success. It explained that all the states of the Federation are equal and important before the President, and none will be discriminated in dealing with security and other matters on account of political differences. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, met on Tuesday, 19th May 2020 and deliberated on the conduct of the Edo and Ondo governorship elections, as well as 9 outstanding by-elections in different parts of the country. The Commission reiterated its commitment to conduct the Edo and Ondo governorship elections on 19th September and 10th October 2020 as contained in the timetable and schedule of activities released on 6 February 2020. A statement by INEC's National Commissioner for Information, Festus Okoye, says the conduct of the election will not jeopardize the health and well-being of citizens, stakeholders, or its valued staff in the face of the coronavirus. The statement adds that the Commission will accelerate consultations and engagement with political parties, civil society organizations, security agencies, and health authorities as soon as its policy framework is finalized on the 21st of this month. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has inaugurated the Post-COVID-19 Initiative Committee with a call on all members in the industry to galvanize support for the committee in the overall interest of the industry. Anthony Fossen reports.
Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, at his meeting with members of BON recently, announced the setting up of a committee to advise the federal government on how best can the sector be supported under the COVID-19 hardship. At Tuesday's virtual inauguration, the minister said, in view of the devastating impact of COVID-19 on the creative industry, it has become imperative to collectively galvanize government support and approach in handling the immediate, short and long-term economic stimulus and initiatives for the industry to mitigate the effects of the pandemic on the sector.
The creative industry is a very critical sector of the nation's economy and a major plank of the economic diversification policy of this administration. It creates the highest number of jobs after agriculture, especially for the youth.
He commended the committee members for their sacrifice and love for their fatherland, urging them to do justice to the assignment which will help the industry expand and thrive.
I know this calls for a lot of sacrifice. It calls for a lot of commitment. And it's whatever is the product of this committee will be, the fruit will be enjoyed by the entire industry.
The 22-man committee has ace comedian Ali Baba as chairman, while Anita Eboigbe will serve as secretary. One of the committee, while expressing appreciation for the honor, said it is gratifying to note that the creative industry has been given a pride of place by the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration, assuring that members of the committee will work in unison to represent the creative industry by advising the government positively. The committee's terms of reference is to assess the expected impact of the pandemic on the industry in general, as well as advise the government on how to mitigate job and revenue losses in the sector and also create succor for practitioners. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Muhammadu Buhari has underscored the role of traditional rulers towards containing the coronavirus pandemic in Nigeria. State House correspondent Aliyu Kabir reports the First Lady was reflecting this standpoint with the presentation of food items to the representatives of the traditional rulers, quoting across all the area councils within the Federal Capital Territory. While presenting the items, which comprise bags of rice, sugar, vegetable oil, and other essential commodities, the First Lady enjoined them to ensure equity in the distribution of the items to the people at the grassroots. She added that the essence of the gesture is to mitigate the effect of the lockdown. Funding on behalf of the traditional rulers of FCT, the owner of Abaji, and the chairman Traditional Council of Chiefs of the Federal Capital Territory, Adamu Baba, represented by the Talba of Abaji, Dr. Hassan Sule, expressed appreciation for the gesture, adding that it will go a long way in supporting the people at this critical time.
Dr. Mrs. Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, being extended to the traditional rulers from Abaji, Gwagwalada, Kuje, Karishi, Buhari, Dusa Alhaji, and a number of them, to also equally support them during this critical period of not only the COVID-19, but of also the Ramadan period. We know their followers, people around them are looking up to them to support them. So this is the kind of the support Her Excellency is extending to these traditional emirates within the FCT.
First Lady emphasized the need for Nigerians to maintain social distancing and obey all the guidelines by the authorities in fighting COVID-19. As the total lockdown in Obiakbo and Port Harcourt City Council areas enter day 3, some residents have called for a gradual relaxation to ease the pains that accompany the measure. Robinson Derataide has an update.
The second round of total lockdown in the 2 council areas, which began Sunday 8 p.m., forcing residents to stay indoors, while those on essential duties were allowed to move and operate. While the initial day of arrest of defaulters by the State Task Force on COVID-19 has reduced, some residents were seen carrying out community service, while few others were in front of their houses, having a glimpse of what the security agencies were doing in enforcing the complete lockdown.
This very second lockdown they have is not effective. And if you go around, you look, people walk around, people are tired because they use the money they have to spend. They spend so much on stocking their house the first time. I know when you are at home, people eat every day. And the palliative does not get to a lot of people.
When they say we shouldn't go anywhere, and we know COVID-19 is out of dirty, out of so many things, so when they say we should wash our hands, not only we should clean our environment using this period. That's what I'm doing.
Since on Monday, I've been trekking and go to work. There's no taxi on the road. No people are refusing to carry people. So I've been suffering from Monday till now.
The roads were, however, busy on the third day, with the Nigerian Peace Corps manning most of the roadblocks.
They are essential workers, mostly doctors. They are going to work. Some are coming back. Some that went for night duties, they are coming back.
The authorities say the total lockdown is until further notice. In Port Harcourt, Robinson Delateide, NTA News.
And that's it on Panorama. Thank you for watching. Stay safe.